Hello, welcome to our regular RCSD board meeting. Today is January 9th, 2024. Welcome, everyone. First item, roll call. Go ahead, Joe.
So Caroline's out gathering some equipment. But Director Barkey?
Here.
Director Shade?
Here.
Director Searles?
Here.
Director Maynard?
Here.
And President DeMarco.
Here. Thank you, Joe. All right. First is our Pledge of Allegiance. We have Boy Scout Troop 642 to lead us.
Color Guard, attention. Color Guard, forward march.
All rise.
Color Guard, halt. Color Guard, cross the colors. Color Guard, post the colors. All those in uniform, please salute. All others, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Two. Color Guard, attention. Color Guard, retreat. Please sit.
Okay, thank you, Boy Scouts. What is customary to do is each of you, even all of you, come up one by one. We want to know your name, and I'd like to give you a pin. So come on up. Who's going to start? Come on, you come right behind them. What's your name?
My name's Drew.
Okay, Drew, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name's Leo.
Hey, Leo, how you doing?
Thank
There
you.
go.
My name is Owen.
Hey, Owen. There you go.
Thank you. My name is Jack. Thank you, sir.
My name is Nathan.
Hi, Nathan. There you go.
My name is Kai.
Hey, Kai. Thanks for coming.
My name's Mason. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Ben. Thank you.
My name is Wesley. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
My name is Ian. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Declan.
Thank you.
My name is Finn.
I'm Ryder.
Thank you.
My name is Alan. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Zach.
Thank you.
I'm Griffin. I'm your friend.
I'm Ty. Thank you.
My name is Mika.
My name is Ian.
My name is Kieran.
Thank you very much.
My name is Dean.
Thank you.
My name is Aiden.
Thank you.
My name is Kyle. Thank you.
And my name is also Kyle.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's give everybody a round of the Boy Scouts round of applause. And one other announcement. This was our first meeting where we are introducing the Rossmoor RCSD flag. I caught it. I caught it. I caught it. Our flag.
It'll be up at all facilities.
What's that?
It'll be outside.
Yep, it'll be outside our facilities. Okay, let's go with presentations, 4A, and it's presentation by our senior civil engineer, Wei Zhu, from Orange County Public Works Traffic.
Hi, everyone. My name is Wei. I'm from Orange County Public Works Traffic Division. Basically, as we went through, the traffic study stems from a list of concerns. I wouldn't say complaint, but concerns in the community, especially along Montecito, major arterial street, and also near the school area, Los Alamitos Elementary School. And the primary concerns are speeding, of course, parking on the south end of Montecito, and school circulation. Those are pretty much the major concerns to initiate this study. So the county has been working with AE Consultant, traffic engineering group, for the past year, and collected a lot of traffic data, parking data, and also drone survey about the school circulation and all that. So we kind of initially developed, I don't even remember how many alternatives, solutions for each segment, and we kind of narrow it down. We have attended the RCSD meeting for a few times during the summer and the fall, and presented our findings along with the data. And of course, that kind of helped us to gauge the public comments and input, and that was kind of like a screening process. And as a result of all those iteration and collaboration with the community, we come up with a recommendation that's currently sent out to you guys. So by all means, these are not something that we just came up with overnight. It does, incorporate a lot of the comments from the public. But I do understand some of you guys, this is the first time you hear about it, which is a little unfortunate, but hopefully it's not too late to dive into it. At the end, I just want to say this is your community, and I appreciate everyone's taking a part into participating in this dialogue. All your voice will be heard, and that's, essentially the purpose of the objective of sending out this survey. Try to get all your input together, then we will look through it. Of course, from an engineering standpoint, I pay attention to more scientific data, and those are the solutions that I come up with. But it is different for you guys living in this community and witnessing the things on the day-to-day basis. So if this is really not something majority of you guys want, let us know through the survey, and we're perfectly fine just to go along with whatever the community supports. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Wei, and thank you very much for coming tonight. We had a town hall that lasts from 5 to 7 o'clock tonight, and well over 100 people attended, and most of them it was the first time, them hearing about it, them hearing from you. Good feedback. Appreciate everyone coming out. Appreciate your office and what you've done to support Rossmoor, making it safe. So thank you very much. And one more thing that the county has sent out the survey. We encourage all the residents to fill out the survey. Certainly, if you need questions answered, email Wei, email Mr. Mendoza, but definitely fill out the survey because we want to get input from our residents. The RCSD, Carolyn sent out something yesterday. It's the same QR code, it's the same survey. So we encourage everyone to fill out the survey so we can get valuable input on any future decisions for Montecito and elsewhere in Rossmoor. So
It's an electronic survey or a mailed survey?
it's either, but the QR code on it is for electronic. So yes, Joe.
Since we're on 4A, we might have some overflow comments that still need to
Oh,
come up.
okay. Yes, all right, let's do that. So just finishing up, we had so many people wanting to speak. Is anyone still here from, please come up and, anyone? Mr. Hafstad, you got a question? No, okay. Yes, please come up. You're Helen, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Hi,
Thank
I'm
you,
Helen. You can take Dennis's off. He got his
Okay.
answers already. First of all, good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. That was definitely a nice, large crowd earlier. Wazu, I want to tell you, I really appreciate your research. And I want to thank you for having these meetings. I also want to say and add to this, I'm against changing Montecito. I think you will pick that up in previous meetings that I've been to. I live on Montecito directly across from the daycare. And like you had mentioned in your introduction, you do scientific research, well respected. It's different when you do that versus when you live here, in the sense, and no insult meant at all. I live and breathe Montecito. Montecito is basically a safe road. Yes, we've got some speedsters, not necessarily drivers during the week, yes, on the weekends. We've got parents in a rush pulling a U-turn. I'm not bothered with e-bikes on the sidewalk. I'd rather they be there than in the street because there's so many blind spots with cars that park against the curb. So I hear what you're saying. So with all due respect, please, hear me out, and I'm not attacking anybody. The beauty of Rossmoor is that we have a deep concern for the safety of our people and the beauty of our community. People look out for one another. Putting this road, I'll call it a road diet, going for 4 lanes down to 2 to 1 is disastrous. It is injuries and possibly deaths just waiting to happen. Many cities that you talk about are cities, Ladera Ranch or Irvine, these cities were built with a master plan, and they put in bike lanes. Rossmoor master plan was not built with bike lanes. And in fact, bike lanes, historically, it's always been an afterthought. So if you let me just kind of back up. If you were to skinny down the lanes, one, we will not be able on Montecito, specifically across from the daycare, we cannot back up. As it is, when you have high, tall vehicles parked along the curb, it is very visually challenging to back up. That's an issue we deal with. Safety, no one's been hurt. Thank God, let's just keep it that way, same with kids. If you skinny down the roads, the cars now will be pushed into the bike lanes, and the bicyclists will not even be seen by the high SUVs that are parked along the curb. You've got a serious injury just waiting to be heard. It's just a ticking time bomb. The roundabouts, scientifically, you're right. It says by government research, they're saying roundabouts are safer. But fact is also saying that roundabouts are only needed in places where there's congestion, heavy traffic. Roundabouts are needed to slow traffic down. We don't have heavy congestion. That 15 minutes, it actually moves pretty well in and out. Parents are too focused on just getting their kids in, getting out. If you've got now, you're skinning down the roads and you've got these bike lanes, someone's bound to get hurt. It's just common sense. In fact, if you want to take that, it's almost like saying, let's do roundabouts in every single 4-way corner we have in Rossmoor. Absurd? Yes, it is. It's not needed. The traffic, it is not high. And I understand you're saying that the county study is we've got 4 lanes where normally more traffic would need 4 lanes. It works. It works for a reason. It's also our main thoroughfare way. What if there's a major emergency and that's the way to get out and you've skinnied it down? You're going to have bottleneck and you're going to have more injuries. Leave it, please, as it is. I will also say that, Tony, with all due respect, and Wazoo, you guys say there's no bias here. I've come to 3, this is now 4 of the 5 meetings. From the very beginning, people started to wonder, what is the real reason behind this? Whose agenda is this? I found it interesting that Mr. Pulver was here one time. Not that he's not allowed. It's like, what's going on? And when we hear the talk is like the county has planned and is going forward with this, that the county's not listening to us. And I've asked, in the first meeting, there was a huge turnout like today. They didn't return the second time. The third time was even smaller too. The majority of the people today, earlier, were all new. So I asked some of the previous people, why? Why are you guys not coming? Your voice is extremely important. We just don't think our voice is heard. The county's making their statement and they're not listening. There's a disconnect. I agree. So with all due respect, that road change is not needed. Roundabouts are disastrous. Studies have proven that roundabouts are for, like I said, busy streets. We don't have that traffic. Studies also show children's cognitive thinking is not yet developed to understand the dangers of roundabouts compared to stop signs. Children are incapable of accurately judging the distance and the speed of an oncoming traffic, so they will misjudge and run out too soon. That's basically all I have to say. I want to thank you for your time, and again, in all due respect, I'm not attacking. Just please, please, hear what we're saying. And I think you can understand the consensus has been no, not just my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. Anyone else on this topic?
Hi, I'm Peggy Wilkins. I've lived in Rossmoor for 49 years. I grew up on Hill Rose for 21, and my husband and I live on Weatherby, and we've been there for 28 years. I also currently teach at Rossmoor Elementary School, and I've been there for 28 years as well. I'm coming first as a resident. I really appreciate that you're trying to fix the parking issues on Montecito. I would also like to add that we have a parking issue with the apartment complex on the north end, and I've lived there for 28 years. They're encroaching more and more down Weatherby, Davenport, Hedwig. I don't even go down Weatherby to make a left to go to Wallingsford anymore because I can't see. So if you are mitigating parking problems or going to permits, et cetera, we would appreciate it on the north end if you could look at that issue as well. As far as this mitigation of making one lane, my concern is when I exit Rossmoor at Orangewood. So if I'm coming from Rossmoor from Shakespeare and I'm going to Orangewood and I have to get to the district office at 3 o'clock for a meeting, I do not go down Orangewood and make a left onto LaSalle because St. Hedwig's is getting out at the same time. All the schools are getting out at the same time, so I don't even go there. I go out my parking lot and I go down to Rossmoor and I completely avoid Orangewood. If we go down to one lane, how bad is that going to be to exit when it's already very difficult to exit when St. Hedwig's and our LaSalle schools are getting out at the same time? So like anywhere from 2:30 to 3:30. Also, if I live on Weatherby Road and I'm coming south on Weatherby Road and I want to make a left onto Orangewood and we have all that traffic backed up, how am I going to get out of Weatherby Road to make a left? It already is a problem sometimes in the morning and in the afternoon to get out of Weatherby Road to go back onto Orangewood. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. I'm worried if we go to one lane, we are really going to back up the traffic. We could back up that traffic because sometimes it goes past Weatherby and it's backed up quite far down. Is that possibly going to back us all the way up to Shakespeare? Just a concern on how to get in and out of the traffic. As far as the school, you saw Tom, our crossing guard, was here. He's been a wonderful crossing guard. We've had wonderful crossing guards. Just so you know, when he is absent, school personnel is asked to be a crossing guard. So I get a ring-a-ding-ding because I have an administrative credential. Peggy, can you go do crossing guard duty? If you put a roundabout and no stop signs, you're possibly putting teachers that don't do it they don't have the ins and outs of how to mitigate the traffic. So I'm just kind of concerned about that. I do hope we keep stop signs there because it is a very dangerous four-way stop. If we go to one lane, and I am right by Kids Corner, I have been in that room, the one on the end at Montecito where the garden is. I have been in that room for 19 years. I've been at Rossmoor, like I said, 28. I've seen everything. We used to have Ferris Hamid, I don't know if you guys are aware, he was a CHP officer who came all the time. It's because his wife worked at Rossmoor School. So he was constantly patrolling. We had the best patrol ever around Rossmoor School. And he would give tickets, etc. Since then, things have changed. He's retired, but also when we call and ask for more reinforcement, CHP tells the school, we can't come if there's something happening on the freeway. We are second to them. And so we're not getting the enforcement. That's just, I've seen it, I've been there too many years. They do want to help us. It's not like they don't. It's just a personnel issue. We are not, when we call and say the parents are double parking, the parents are blocking the driveways, the parents are doing this, we are not getting the enforcement at this time. So that's a concern. If we go to one lane, what happens on a rainy day, what happens on the first week of school, the parents will park in that first lane, the one closest to the curb. They will let their children out of the cars, and we ask them not to. My principal sends emails. We send all the information we can about please don't do it. They do it anyway. So my concern is if we only have one lane and the kids are jumping out of the car, what's going to happen is everybody's going to back up, and then nobody's going to get around, or they're going to jump into that middle lane to get around the traffic. Lastly, we are still dealing with the safety of schools. Right now, parents are allowed to come on campus in the morning at a certain time, 10 to 15 minutes. That could all change. Things could change and we could be mitigated to only one gate opening. Many school districts have done that, to only one gate being open with somebody being there to watch the kids go in. So I just don't want us to limit our possibilities of how the kids can enter and exit schools and how the parents can drop the kids off. I hope that makes sense. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peggy. Anyone else on this item? Okay. All right. So next we have
Thank you, Wei.
District.
Just thanking her. I
Oh,
mean,
yes.
she-
No, I thank you, Peggy. Yes, thank you very much. Everyone. We had lots of speakers.
Well, thank you, President, for the time
Yep.
and the invitation
Yep.
for me to attend this meeting. But yeah, please complete the survey and spread the words, and we will gather all the input and tally it out and then determine what's the best course of action from there. All right? It will be a collaborative effort with county, RCSD, and probably some members from different organizations as well. And majority of, really is the main stakeholder is you guys, the residents from Rossmoor. So please do voice up and, turn in your survey. Thank you.
Thank you,
President
Wade.
Marco, Carolyn received a couple electronic emails that she needs to read. to
For?
put on record for traffic issues.
Okay.
The first one is from Alice and Mark Baldwin. We're not able to attend the meeting, but are staunchly opposed to roundabouts or changing the traffic flow. Yes, traffic is a problem for about 20 minutes twice a day for 8 months of the year. Enforce the laws and count the problems to go away. No cell phone use in cars, no double parking, leaving parents in the road and blocking something.
Is Carolyn's mic on? Hang on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
The second one is from Shapal Patel. He says, hello. Unfortunately, I'm unable to attend. However, as a resident of Rossmoor, I vote against any changes to the corridor. Currently, the issue is the apartment complex has not provided enough parking to their residents, and due to this, is causing an issue. The residents at the time indicated and stopped any building to be erected in the Old Town Rossmoor Center parking lot so that they may park there. However, they are not parking there and causing congestion on the streets, as that is more convenient for them to park versus walking across the parking lot. Instead of changing and costing us undue funds, the apartment complex should issue permits to allow them to park on the street. Only one permit per apartment. This way, the residents who have 3, 4, or 5 vehicles are not parking on the streets but have to go park in the parking lot of the center. Thank you.
Okay, so next is B 2023 State of the District Address.
President Marco, before we move on with that, we have a presentation from Senator Janet Wynn's office. She
Right.
sent one of her deputies out, Joe Pena, who would like to come forward and make a presentation.
Hey, Joe.
Good evening, Board of Directors. My name is Joe Pena, and I'm a district representative for Senator Janet Wynn. I'm here tonight to present the certificate of recognition to outgoing President Tony DeMarco for his leadership and dedication to the community of Rossmoor. It is with deep appreciation, Janet Wynn, thanks for your partnership with her office and with herself over the last year. So with that, congratulations on a successful term. And thank you for leading our Rossmoor community. Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay.
Where's my cheat sheet?
All right. State of the District 2023. At the first meeting of the Rossmoor Community Services District in 2024, it is my pleasure to report the State of the District 2023. The district's financial outlook remains strong. Financial stability and transparency is a priority to the Rossmoor Board of Directors. The district received an unmodified audit report from our auditing firm, Rogers, Anderson, Malady, and Scott, with no management findings. Financial highlights for the district in 2022-2023 include a net position increase of 1%, or $55,882, to $5.6 million in 2023. A property tax revenue increase of 8.2%, or $94,200 in 2023. A total revenue from all sources decrease of 4.1%, or $86,560 in 2023, primarily due to a decrease in operating grants, and a total expense decrease of 2.1%, or $41,191 in 2023. The safety and well-being of Rossmoor residents is always a priority for the RCSD. The Community Traffic Safety Ad Hoc Committee regularly meets this past year and is making every effort to mitigate the traffic issues along Montecito Corridor. Because of our intense effort, we are thankful that the County of Orange Public Works Department has studied several road improvements and is in the process of surveying the community to prioritize any mitigation efforts. Orange County Public Works has spent over $100,000 on this project, and I hope the community will take the time to provide their feedback. It is anticipated that the result of this survey will be provided in February 2024. The effort underscores the district's commitment to ensuring the safety of Rossmoor residents. 2 public safety seminars were presented by RCSD, Orange County Sheriff, Senator Janet Wynn, and the community member, Kimmy Nielsen, to educate the community regarding the impact and danger of fentanyl usage. The program outlined the danger and death statistics of fentanyl use in Orange County. Attendees were also educated on the use of Narcan, a nasal spray designed to rapidly reverse the effect of a life-threatening opioid emergency in adults and children. The RCSD will continue to work with local agencies to provide information to combat this epidemic. Assemblyman Trita, County of Orange, District Attorney Todd Spitzer, and Orange County Sheriff held a town hall meeting regarding their efforts to keep Orange County residents safe. They emphasized they are being aggressive in prosecuting criminals and asked the public to be aware and report any suspicious activity. The Orange County Sheriff and the California Highway Patrol serve Rossmoor residents. We appreciate these agencies and the services they provide. The RCSD board and staff work diligently to keep communications open with the sheriff and CHP. Both agencies continue to provide updates to the RCS board and community. They have been very effective in capturing and prosecuting criminals who have victimized the community. The RCSD continues to maintain communication and relationships with our legislative representatives, Congresswoman Michelle Steele, Senator Janet Nguyen, Assemblyman Trita, and First District Supervisor Andrew Doe. We welcome their use of our facilities to keep the community informed through town hall meetings and forums. The district has petitioned Congresswoman Steele to review the Rossmoor zip code that is shared with the city of Los Alamitos in an attempt for Rossmoor to have a separate zip code. The shared zip code can result in Rossmoor residents being charged the higher sales tax rate of Los Alamitos, being categorized with Los Alamitos for home sales reporting and receiving general mailers that go to the entirety of 90720. This past year, there have been a great deal of attention to the housing element required of counties and cities by the state of California, specifically those drafted by County of Orange and the cities of Los Alamitos and Seal Beach. While the RCSD does not have any jurisdiction or participation in the decision-making process, we understand the importance of being proactive in keeping abreast of the process and voicing our opinions to local officials. We will continue to provide town hall meetings and updates to keep Rossmoor residents informed. One of the major projects that we have been working on this year is the upgrade of the district's website. This was last done in May of 2011, and it has been a priority of the RCSD board to introduce a new and improved website that will be easier for residents to navigate. The website ad hoc committee was formed with Director Shade and myself to oversee this project. A consultant was hired through the California Special District Association to work with staff and the ad hoc committee to refresh and add pertinent information to the website. We are looking forward to the site going live in February. Two other projects that have been budgeted for are a new picnic shelter at Rossmoor Park and an updated flooring at Rush Park Auditorium. The Rush Park Auditorium flooring project will be going out to bid in February. The plans for Rossmoor Park picnic shelter will be reviewed by the County of Orange Planning Department. The Prop 68 per capita grant received by the district will fund these projects. We have been informed that the deadline for completion for Prop 68 grant projects have been extended to April 2028. However, staff will continue to move forward with both of these projects. After numerous meetings and community input, the RCSD board took action to convert one tennis court into 4 pickleball courts, as well as install sound mitigation material at Rossmoor Park. The board directed that a request for bids be prepared, and subsequently a bid was awarded to Taylor Tennis Courts, Inc. to resurface 3 tennis courts, 4 pickleball courts, to include nets and posts, and 1 basketball court. We are looking forward to the completion of this project in the spring. In an effort to brand the Rossmoor Community Services District as the governing body of Rossmoor, the RCSD Board of Directors approved the design and purchase of flags depicting the RCSD logo that will be displayed at all of the district facilities. The flags will emphasize the RCSD to residents and visitors. The RCSD combined efforts with the Los Alamitos Unified School District and the RHA to provide a celebration at Rush Park to culminate the end of the annual graduation parade for high school seniors. Students and their families enjoyed the festivities at Rush Park that include annual signings, photo opportunities, and entertainment. The summer family festivals and movie nights have been a tradition for the Rossmoor community. Residents enjoy visiting with neighbors and bringing friends and relatives to the festivities. The program were very successful and highly attended, with approximately 3,000 to 4,000 participants at each event. Food trucks, entertainment, games, vendor booths, and kids zones with slides, a rock wall, a moon bouncies were available. Each event also featured a band and entertainment. Movie nights and Shakespeare in the Park were also part of the summer activities. This year's Winter Festival was the largest ever, with more than 4,500 attendees. The community enjoyed the entertainment, vendors, food trucks, snow area, petting zoo, moon bounces, a kids zone, and of course Santa. The highlight of the evening was the ceremony to count down the lighting of the Rossmoor tree. Senator Janet Nguyen and Assemblyman Trita attended. Many local schools and community groups provided outstanding entertainment throughout the evening. 2023 marked the second year of the weekly farmers market that is held on Thursday evenings at Rush Park. The farmers market has become a staple for the community. A variety of vendors are available each week, as well as entertainment for both youths and adults. This year, a harvest festival was introduced in October in conjunction with Halloween that included a costume contest and entertainment for youth and adults. The RCSD plans to expand this program and wishes to thank Farmers Market, the Youth Center, and the California Highway Patrol for being part of the Harvest Festival program. Other benefits to the community were the senior health seminars sponsored by the Los Alamitos Medical Center, as well as the health fair held in November. We appreciate the businesses and nonprofit organizations that generously provide sponsorships for our large community events. Because of these donors, the district is able to expand and offer additional events. Our sincere thanks go out to Memorial Care, the Simon Law Group, Friday Night Lights, the RHA, Tomlin Team Real Estate, Jones and Meyer, CRNR, West Coast Arborist, Moya College Success, Printmaster, Los Alamitos Pediatrics, Home by Lori, Braithwaite Chiropractic, Youth Center, Pathways Up to Independence, Orange County Sheriff, and the Orange County Fire Authority. The RCSD has once again earned the designation as Tree City USA, making it the 13th consecutive year. The district continues to provide ongoing education on the maintenance and care of the parkway trees, as well as conducting an annual Arbor Day celebration in collaboration with the Youth Center. This event was well attended by students and adults. Other efforts to educate and inform the community about the care and maintenance of district parkway trees are made using the district website, new homeowner packets, and mailers. The RCSD board is committed to the urban forest program and acknowledges that the annual grid trimming schedule is important to the health and safety of the district trees and residents. RCSD staff planted 2 butterfly gardens, one at Montecito Center and one at Rush Park. They also provided an educational opportunity to the Tiny Tot program at Montecito Center, as well as the youth and adults that visit Rush Park. The community has enjoyed seeing the transformation of caterpillars into butterflies. The district continued to work on the implementation and fine-tuning of the new street sweeping schedule that went into effect in January of 2022. This provides residents with the option to park on alternate sides of the street based on odd-even address sweeping schedules. This was a major undertaking, and we are pleased that the street sweeping schedule is improving the quality of life for Rossmoor residents by alleviating parking issues on street sweeping days. The district is currently working on an updated agreement with the Youth Center, review of the Memorandum of Understanding with the Los Alamitos Girls Softball League, and a review of the district's reservation policy and fees. The RCSD understands the importance of sharing our facilities to provide programs to the community. I am happy to report that we have made significant progress in the number of areas to provide outstanding service to our residents. The district conducted 2 bulky item pickup days in partnership with CRNR, as well as 2 special mulch distribution events. In addition, RCSD also hosts bi-weekly mulch giveaways at Kempton Park. West Coast Arborist provides the mulch for these events. The RCSD board and I are proud of the RCSD staff that work diligently to serve the Rossmoor community. While the staff is small in number, their willingness to multitask and work as a team to provide programs, administer facility reservations, monitor the urban forest, and keep our facilities clean and safe is very much appreciated. This year, we also welcomed a new addition to our staff with the hiring of Carolyn Wang as our district administrative assistant. Thank you, Carolyn. We appreciate her efforts. RCSD staff continues to consistently serve and care for our residents. In closing, it has been my privilege to serve the Rossmoor community as board president in 2023. I appreciate my colleagues on the RCSD board and their dedication. The district's fiscal position is strong, and our community's low crime rate and friendly, caring residents make Rossmoor one of the best places to live in Southern California. Woo! Let me take it back. Thank you for everyone coming for support. Appreciate it. Okay, let's move on. All right. Next, number 5, election of officers.
Yes, sir, President DeMarco, it's time to elect new officers for the 2024 calendar year. I'd like to open it up and ask if there's any nominations for the office of president.
I would like to open it up and nominate for president Michael Maynard.
I'll second.
Do we have a first and a second? Do we have any other nominations? Okay, with that, Carolyn, would you do a roll call, please?
Is my mic working now?
Yes.
Roll call. Director Barkey?
Yes.
Director Shade? Yes. Director Maynard?
Yes.
Director Searles?
Yes.
President DeMarco?
Yes.
Now we can switch chairs, yes. And I believe the incoming president, there's some notes up there for him to recognize you and say a couple words. Couple kids. Then we'll move on after that to the other nominations.
Go ahead, play yourselves. Look at that picture of Tony up there.
Not yet,
All
not
right,
yet.
there he is.
Go ahead, Michael.
I can't express enough about the class that you have shown this past year. You have a humble leadership that draws people in. I learned early in life that leadership is not pushing things upon people, but it's pulling them in. And you clearly demonstrated that all last year and then some. I'd like to acknowledge that you have served as president for 3 terms. There you go. He's also been a member of the LoSal Education Foundation. He actually has helped, I believe with his wife's help, to raise over $250,000 for our school district. And he's also worked very closely with Orange County Public Works to initiate changes to street sweeping. So Tony, like I said, you've done a class act. You set the bar really high for whoever follows. And you got some very big shoes for me to fill. But I want to applaud you again.
Not necessary.
Everybody's
Let's go on
clear.
with the
Now, we don't have to
meeting.
worry about y'all. Go ahead, play yourselves.
We got more?
Very catchy.
Buonasera, Signorina, buonasera. It is time to say goodnight to Napoli. Though it's hard for us to whisper buonasera with that old moon above the Mediterranean Sea. In the morning, Signorina, we'll go walking where the mountains help the sun come into sight. And by the little jewelry shop we'll stop and linger while I buy a wedding ring for your finger. In the meantime, let me tell you that I love you. Buonasera, Signorina, kiss me goodnight. Buonasera, Signorina, kiss me goodnight. Buonasera, Signorina, buonasera. It is time to say goodnight to Napoli. Though it's hard for us to whisper buonasera with that old moon above the Mediterranean Sea.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
As,
I love Rossmoor.
There you
I
go.
I do it all for Rossmoor. I love this community. And all of you, all my fans. Thank you.
well, we would like to give you just a little humble thank you, a mallet so you can have the same level of control at home.
Wow, that's not going to happen.
And you have this
Okay.
nice little tin. You have your own tin.
Wow.
You could bring cookies next time.
Look at that. Nice.
There you go.
Thank
Open
you
that
very
up,
much.
Tony.
Huh?
Oh, there's something in it.
It's a puzzle of this? You can get everything online, can't you? This is great. All right. So, wait.
Don't wanna lose
Don't
it.
want to lose a piece. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Joe.
Well, I guess my first act as president is the election of first vice president. And Tony, you've done such a great job. I'm putting this out there, is I do believe in continuity. I do believe in leadership. And I would like nothing better than for you to be my first vice president and for the community as well.
Second. You're not going to cry, are you?
No. Oh, I'm waiting.
Roll call vote.
Well, I move to nominate Joe Shade as first vice president, I'm sorry.
Is there a second?
Roll call vote. Director Barkey?
Aye.
Director Shade? Aye. Director Maynard?
Aye.
Director DeMarco?
Aye.
Director Searles?
Aye.
Congratulations, Tony.
Thank you.
You're still here. Next, we have election of second vice president. And on this one here, I would like to nominate Director Joe Shea.
Second.
Are there any other nominations?
Roll call vote. Director Barkey?
Aye.
Director Shade? Aye. Director Maynard?
Aye.
Director DeMarco?
Aye.
Director Searles?
Aye.
That brings us to the end of nominations. And we don't have to change chairs anymore. That was it. So that's good. This brings us up to agenda item D1. It's an update on our website refresh project. Mr. Mendoza.
Thank you, President Maynard. I'd like to turn this over to Carolyn. She's been working on this website refresh, and we've had meetings with past President DeMarco and Director Shade, and we are almost there. I'm really happy with the way this is turning out, and Carolyn will give you a complete update.
We just have a few cleanup items to complete. I'm working with Lindsay Green over at Streamline. She's staying very well on top of things, trying to work through the wish list that we discussed during the last ad hoc committee meeting. Primarily, we're focused on the functionality of communicating with the public and monitoring the responses. So we want to make sure that that works perfectly. So that's where we're at, and we're hoping to have this going live very first week of February.
Awesome.
Nice.
It's, I believe, it all depends, well, it's an ad hoc, so Director Shade and Director DeMarco, if you want to take one more look at it, we can do one more visit with our consultant. Okay? Thank you.
Well, I was going to open it up to Director Shade first, knowing she's on the committee. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I think I think we do need to just have that one last.
Yeah, that's my plan, to have one more meeting
Yeah,
before we go
that
live.
would be great.
Uh-huh.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it, and certainly that was one of Director Shade and I's, the main, and again, I give Director Searles credit because this whole, we both want this to be making sure that anyone sends something in, that it's almost like logged, what's the word, Director Searles? A tag, it's a tag of some kind, to where anybody sends something in, it's make sure that it's answered and then followed up and logged, and so we have like stats on that, so I'm glad you're taking the time. I have all the confidence in the world that this company's going to be able to, or this website's going to be able to do it, so it's an amazing product.
Okay, so this is just in our file now?
Yes.
Good job to the committee and to the staff. Brings us to D2, update on landscaping requests for proposal. Mr.
President
Mendoza.
Maynard, members of the board, as you know, our landscape contract with Brightview Landscaping ends March 31st. So we are in the process. We went out to with a request for proposals this month. We've sent them to about a dozen vendors. We are getting feedback, and we purposely did not do a joint walk because I wanted to individually meet with those vendors who are interested in taking on our contract. So we've set up individual walks. I did one today, one last week. I have 2 more this week, and they're calling in, and we're basically walking the parks and talking about what our expectations are and what's on the scope of work. So I'm hoping that we're going to get some very competitive bids, and we'll be coming back to you in February with a proposal.
Any comments?
Does that bid include, I mean, the scope of the bid, does it include the plumbing?
No.
No, just
It includes
strictly
irrigation.
irrigation?
Yes.
But
yes.
not like, how about like repairs?
Irrigation repairs, yes, but not plumbing per se. Not like the restrooms or.
No, I just mean out in the landscaping, like the sprinklers and all that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And repairs?
Joe, as you're doing these site walks, are you preparing, and you talk about scope of work, are you preparing notes that then the next time when you do another site walk, you use the exact same guidelines and maybe you
Yes.
supplement it?
Yes, the rule of thumb is if you're on a site walk with a vendor and they bring up a question that wants clarification or something, we send it out to all the vendors so they understand, they have a history of what we've talked about. For instance, one of the vendors asked for we didn't propose it, addresses of all the parks, and they also asked for Brightview's recent contract. Well, I talked to Tarquin, it's public knowledge, so we sent it to all of them, and as we walk, we give them one, and yeah.
So are you memorializing this so, in a month from now, when we have the bids, we're going to see exactly what all these vendors were reviewing for?
Well, it's in the scope, yes, yes.
Well, but to come back to what we did with the pickleball, and we didn't really have a detailed scope. You're going to have a detailed scope from what you're saying now of all the interactions you're having with the vendors, and hence, in a month, when we're looking at the proposals, we should know the scope of work more detailed than what is in the 2 paragraphs here.
Are you asking, just to clarify, are you asking for a copy of their proposal? Are you asking for a copy of what they're bidding?
I mean, yeah, what are their apples to apples to apples that they're all bidding on?
Okay.
Itemized.
Well, yeah, they're going to be bidding on what we scoped, so they'll be providing
A breakdown.
a cost, yes.
Right, but my point is that this 2 paragraphs doesn't really have the scope and the detail in which you're saying it's being, supplemented. Each walk comes with a little more clarity and detail, that I just would ask that we have that same detail when we review the actual, bids that are being considered.
I believe, well, a good start to that, if you're questioning what they're going to be bidding on, it's already involved, it's already attached to this. If you read it, it's the scope of services, how often, frequencies, how many times we mow. Now, if there's a question that they have, for instance, I just said they asked us, one vendor asked us for a copy of the Brightview contract so they can base their bids on what Brightview was doing and what we were paying them. So we gave it to them, but we provided to all of them, just so we're consistent and we're being transparent with all of them, because we want them to all have a fair shot at putting in the bid. But it's all right here, the deadline and frequencies and what we expect for them to bid on. But yeah, you'll be getting a copy of, if you want a copy of all their bids, usually I just, bring in the top two after we vet them, but, yeah.
Yeah, I've got the benefit of having a physical book, which makes it a little easier for me, but for those.
I think we should be able to see the bids as a board. I think we should review those.
So I think there's some confusion on when you say the bid. So what I'm hearing from Director Searles is he wants not only what went out, here's everything that we want you to do, but any of their questions that like add-ons, like Mr. Mendoza just said, if someone asks a question, then we answer the question, we give it out to all the bidders. So I'm hearing that needs to now be added to this report. And then what Director Shea is saying is now their bid's coming in, and I guess it's just a bid. It's going to be a report or a bid in detail on what, or is it just going to be a paragraph with a number on it?
Report, I guess summarizing all the bids and let you know who the top bidders was and who we're recommending to award to. Some of them might be disqualified, and in that report it'll say that. Some of them might not answer all the questions, or their bid might be incomplete, therefore they're disqualified. Yeah, but we have to wait for all of those to come in.
Joe, the bid that went out, it's in here, right?
Yes.
The bid that went out. How many pages is it? 2 or 3, 4?
Well, that's what I was about to say on page 33 of 99 on my written. This is a major, starts on page 24 of 99.
But let me clarify my question, if it makes sense. Item 10 is about overseeding, and it says will be an additional charge once per year as requested. What if a vendor says this amount, we want to know what this amount is, right? We want to give a range here. We do overseeding almost every year. So if a vendor says, can we set a maximum cost to us of an overseeding or a minimum? Like there's a certain, we're going to do 3 acres and we're going to charge this price. Anything more than that would be this amount. That's the kind of number that actually comes out in the bidding that they may ask, and I would expect that given that we do overseed regularly, it should be a number we should know. And that's all I'm asking is if we get to a point in any of these vendor situations where we clarify what overseeding is going to cost, for example, then that would be shared with the board of, we talked with, let's say Brightview again, just for example, because that's one name I know, and Brightview says they're going to charge us, $2,500 to, overseed all of our parks. And somebody else said, well, I will charge you $1,250 to do, all of them. That's not in here, but that would be relevant for us to decide whether we want to take that vendor. That's all I'm asking is that if we have those interactions, I want it to be clarified when we actually have a bid and not saying, well, why are they different? Well, this one wants this and this one. Well, okay, then I want to know what they want separately.
Right.
That's all I'm asking.
If I may, overseeding is unique. Usually what we have been doing is awarding the contract, and then as we see the need for overseeding, we negotiate with that contractor on a price. And for instance, this year, last year we negotiated with Brightview to oversee a portion of Rossmoor Park. We came up with a number, we did it. This year, it didn't need it because we had overseeded, and the grass is looking pretty strong and pretty dense. But there were some bad areas here at Rush, and we didn't, I don't want to spend the money because we were right there in our budget. So they are responsible for fertilizing, I think 2 or 3 times a year. I'd have to look at the frequencies. So they fertilized, and I had Omero go out and buy seed, and if you saw the rope offs in here, we reseeded, we did it. So it was just the price for seed, and we did the manual labor. So it depends on, what the situation is each year. So I understand what you're saying, but yeah, that's how we've been working it in the past.
Mr. Mendoza, we have a contract committee. Is this something that we can meet?
Sure.
And then the contract committee can help scrub and bring down the two best qualified candidates to make sure that everything lines up well?
Most definitely, yeah.
Okay. Any other questions on the update on the landscaping requests for proposals?
I mean, I personally don't think it's necessary to send it to the contract committee. I think it's for the board to have the vendors and decide. I'm not asking this to be complex. I'm just saying if there's additional, factors to it that we be presented to them as a board. It sounds like the contract committee almost takes that away from the board again and puts it in a committee rather than letting the board decide.
No, my vision.
I think there's a good scope here, but again, I'm just saying if things come up and there's additional information, that I just ask the general manager to provide that when we make our decision, and there we go.
Mr. Mendoza, how many of these packets did you send out? So there's 12. I think it's very appropriate for our committee to go through all 12 and bring back serious candidates leading our district staff. I don't believe that our district should come back with 12 things and we get caught up in minutia. So I'm using the committee as a first screening to bring back to the board everything that you have just asked for.
Now, 12 RFPs went out approximately. I don't know how many we're going to get back in the deadline for a bid. Okay.
Understood. Okay. Moving on to D3. This is an update on the FY 2022-23 final audit. Mr. Mendoza.
President Maynard and members of the board, as you remember, we were getting ready to approve our final audit when the board asked us to take a step back and do an inclusion of a management discussion and analysis, an MD&A, and we finalized that report. It's within this audit report, and so we're asking tonight that if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. If not, I'll get back to you, but we're recommending tonight that we approve our final 22-23 annual audit with the addition of the management discussion and analysis that you requested.
Thank you. On my printed copy, it says page 45 of 99 is where the management discussion starts. Is there anyone who has questions of Mr. Mendoza? Dr. Barkey, any questions? No. Director Shade? No. Director DeMarco? Director Searles?
No, I'd ask, I guess, Tarquin whether this is now a new first reading.
I'm sorry, are we on the audit?
Yes.
So basically, Tarquin, if you recall, the audit was done, and the request was to do an MD&A to attach to it, and that's what we've done.
Right. Okay. So a new first reading. Is that the question?
The question is, originally in November, we went over the audit report. We reviewed it as a first reading. However, the board pushed back to Mr. Mendoza to actually compose a management discussion and analysis. So now the same exact audit report from the auditors is back here, but this time it contains Mr. Mendoza's management commentary. So is this considered a first read, or is this now considered a second read?
I apologize, President Maynard. Are we required under our policy to do a first and a second read
Yes.
of the audit? Then yes, this would be a new first read.
So this is now considered the first read?
First read, correct.
Okay. Well, with that said, and no other comments, please bring this back in February. Moving on to D4, an update on negotiations with the Youth Center. Mr. Mendoza.
Yes, we need to do something.
Yeah, we need to.
Informally accept it as the first reading.
Right, so
Oh,
we need a motion.
there's a formality?
Yeah.
Correct.
I apologize. So for this, the formality is we accept the first reading?
Correct.
Is
Accept
there-
the audit report as a first reading.
Is there a motion?
Motion? Motion?
So moved.
Okay, so we got a motion and we got a second. This is non-roll call, it's just aye? Up and and down?
Roll call, please.
Oh, it's roll call, okay.
Aye.
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 Director DeMarco?
Aye.
Director Searles?
Aye.
Now we get to move on to the update on negotiations with the youth center. Mr. Mendoza.
President, members of the board, the Contract Administration Committee, Personnel and Contract Administration Committee met to discuss the upcoming youth center MOU or agreement, and with Lena Lume and one of her board members. On November 29th, Directors DeMarco and Maynard, along with myself and Carolyn, met with Eric Frankenberg and Lena Lume. The current cooperative agreement between the RCSD and the youth center expires March 9th. So a new agreement is in the process of being reviewed by the youth center and RCSD and will be forwarded to legal counsel. But I'd like to point you in the direction of the attachments. And this kind of highlights some of the areas we're talking about. And I'm in conversation with their executive director, Lena Lume, in fine-tuning these points. And I'd like to maybe meet again with our Personnel Contract Committee along with their representatives to finalize this and bring it back to our board, probably in February or March, depending on, I mean, we're one day off. If we wait till March, the new contract starts March 10th. I believe our meeting's March 9th, so I don't see a hiccup in doing it in March. But if we can meet before the February meeting, I would say fine. If not, we can meet sometime before our March meeting and finalize this. But I preliminarily met with Lena, and she's 99% good with these points.
Well, that was going to be my question, is have you made progress since our last meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
We personally met and went over all these.
I personally would love to have this signed before March 1st.
Okay.
I'm sure I'm not the only one who agrees with that. So my recommendation is continue to work with her. And if you feel it's warranted for a committee meeting, that's your discretion. If you want to bring it straight back to the board on February, I will leave that up to you as well.
Okay, my feeling is everything's in agreement, except a couple little fine points, nothing to really talk about. And I'll send it to Tarquin. We'll make up a new agreement. We'll have it to you in February.
Perfect. Any questions on the subject matter? Director Searles?
No, thank you, Joe.
Director Market?
No, thank you for getting all this worked out. I love hearing that. Great.
So basically, now and Lena will be here in February then. Basically, we worked out an agreement to where they're providing us a lot of in-kind service that really supplements our services to the public. With special events, with programming, and
Volunteers.
so volunteers and things like that. So it's a good marriage.
Very good.
Is there any formality of motion to receive and file, or we just move on?
Move on.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay, we're now at section E1A. This is the minutes. So we have our consent calendar expected. This is routine, non-controversial, to be acted upon this board of directors all at once.
Move approval of consent calendar.
Pardon?
I move approval of the consent calendar 1 through 4.
Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there any opposition?
So I was an aye, sorry, I was just confirming that. I saw assignments, and I was thinking the schedule, that there was actually assignments in there. So, thank you.
Okay, so we're finally here at our regular calendar, section G. We are now doing our second reading of amendments to policy number 6050 to update the facilities tennis court policy to include pickleball.
I believe we've jumped the gun here a little bit, President.
Did I miss something?
Where are we supposed to be, Carolyn?
Oh, I'm just asking about the budget calendar and the committee assignments. Did you want to go into those yet on, because they're pretty good? And you just changed some things in the budget calendar?
Weren't they here, or was that part of the consent calendar?
And if we
Oh, I'm sorry. What she's asking is that it's not an item, but I'll just point it out real fast. Director Barkey recommended that we move approval for the consent calendar, but Carolyn's pointed out that the adoption of the budget calendar and the committee assignments on E3 and 4 is a little different. And I want to be transparent.
So in other words, they shouldn't have been part of consent.
Well, probably not. I should have broken it out because I did change it a little. So the budget calendar is moved up about a month because we're trying to have a budget by July 1st. Okay, we've been operating the last few years, and by the time we get to our budget approval, it's September, and it's not good practice. So we will be coming back to the board with a new policy. Our policy reads a different calendar year, and we're supposed to be done no later than September 1st. But the way the calendar has been in the past, we're always behind the gun. So we moved with discussion with our accountant, Michael Maynard, we've moved it up. So we're going to be doing mid-year January 17th. Okay, so we're ready. We have our mid-year notes, and we have everything executed to present to the mid-year committee. And then CIP is the day before, and then we'll be coming back to you, to the board, with present the 23-24 amended budget on February 13th. So we're moving ahead instead of behind. So I didn't think it was a really, I guess, distraction from the policy. In fact, we're ahead of the policy. We're not behind it. And we'll be coming to the policy committee to make a formal recommendation to change it. The other one is, because of that, I'm putting a little pressure on our president on E4. We need to solidify, if we can tonight. This should not have been a consent calendar. I apologize, but we need to solidify the committee assignments if you're changing them.
Okay, well, since you brought it up, my policy, my personal policy is I believe in continuity.
Okay.
I don't believe we need radical change of someone go here, someone go there. So I'm at a 99% of these committees and subcommittee will retain their current committee members, and whoever was designated chair will continue to chair.
Okay.
Hasn't it always been the practice that the president would assign those committee members? It wasn't part of an open board meeting where we would discuss it and write our name in?
Yeah.
That the president would just simply either call or meet and then ultimately come up with your slate of who you want on what committee?
That is traditional. I brought it up since it's on the piece of paper here.
Yeah,
An item.
I'm not asking
Yeah.
the president to make announcements tonight. What I'm doing is I'm putting pressure on him to say, hey, next couple of days, can you give me this so we
Yeah.
can start?
Fair enough.
And what I'm saying is, here is my I don't want to say policy because it's not a policy.
Strategy.
Here's where my head is. My head is, Jo has been on her committees for 1 year. Why would I want to move her from something she finally knows now or is now doing and move her to something else and vice versa? However, if you are on a committee that for some reason you don't want to be, we can reach out, we can talk. If there's a committee that, I just always wanted to be, obviously I will listen. But where my mind and heart is most likely this will be the same. And then the other thought in my head is last year, I think Mr. Mendoza was pulling out a hair a lot of times because of scheduling. I would like to challenge the officers of our first vice president, second vice president, myself, to kind of keep yourself as an alternate, because I don't believe that we should lose and have things jump from February to March because of people's calendars. So I'm challenging yourself and you and myself that I would like to keep on a more tight schedule and a more disciplined administrative calendar with the help of the two of you. So that's where I'm at. Again, I can be reached if someone has a different thought or a committee or something, but I believe in continuity, and especially continuity of leadership and knowledge-based committees. So that's where I'm at. I will ratify that officially next month. So again, reach out to me if you need to. Yeah.
he got his wish.
We can roll. Did you say, just so I get that calendar switch nailed down, the budget's going to be moved to, did you say February?
No. That's when mid-year will be. The budget calendar has just been moved up so we can meet a July 1st deadline for a final budget.
Okay.
So everything has been
Okay.
kind of pushed
I was
up.
like,
Yeah, typically, it's been.
It's September.
Yeah, historically, we rush it a little bit because it takes the process, and we've been, over the years, have been backing it up, and it's
Yeah,
just
and
another
now
backup,
it's-
so it's not
yeah.
as painful as, we gotta hurry up to get this,
But
we
we
got 3
really do
meetings
need
in.
to
and get it.
be,
So now it's just, we have more time to digest it.
The fiscal starts in July, we should vote on it in July. In the
Okay.
event we have comments and it needs some work and massaging, August really should be the latest we ever vote on the budget. The fact that it's been September, I'm glad that our general manager is recognizing that and putting a calendar
I
in place.
agree.
Yeah, so,
Okay, perfect.
That's a great
Just
idea.
want to make sure I get that
We're
right.
trying to move it up to, have it ready approved by July 1st, yes.
By July 1st for
Yeah.
approval, for the August vote.
Right.
Got it.
we're actually for a July vote.
Oh, for the July vote.
That's ideal, you start a fiscal in
Okay.
July with a approved budget.
So we'll be bringing back a revised policy with the policy committee.
Okay.
Okay, that will bring us now
back
back
to
to
G.
G1. So let the record reflect, we voted on the consent calendar. It was really 1 through 2, and the general manager had a presentation for what is E3, and I pontificated a bit on committee assignments. So let's go to G1. This is our second reading of an amendment to policy number 6050 that updates the facilities, that our tennis court policy includes pickleball, so it's a policy for both of those sports. Mr. Mendoza.
Yes, again, what we're recommending is the board approve the draft amended policy number 6050. Basically, there's 2 changes within this policy. On page 93, they're outlined in yellow. One is the use of limitations for players with reservations. Court use for persons making a reservation is limited to a maximum of 1 year. With
1 year?
1 hour, with a maximum of 2 reservations per day. I said 1 year, okay. And then the other, that's 60.20, 60.42 method of payment. Payment for use of reserved playtime may be made at the district office during normal business hours with a check or credit card. Payment may also be made by credit card on the Rossmoor Community Service website through Rec Desk with a verified account. So basically, if you're going to make a reservation, you have to open an account, you have to be registered on our website, and then they can continue to do business that way and make payment.
Okay. I'll open this up to comment to my fellow Parks and Facility Committee member. Director Sturtles, do you have any comments on this?
No, let's move forward.
Okay, is that a motion?
Yeah, motion to accept.
Second.
We have a second.
Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
President Maynard,
Aye.
Director DeMarco,
Aye.
Director Searles.
Aye. Thank you, Carolyn.
Okay, we're on G2.
Yes, we are.
Resolution, come on. Resolution 24-01-09-01. This is a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Rossmoor Community Service District designating certain district officials to transact businesses with financial institution which houses the district's investments, savings, and other financial accounts. Mr. Mendoza.
Thank you, President Maynard. This is an annual change in the signature forms for authorizing official transactions for our Rossmoor Community Service District with the new elected board members that have changed seats. What we do is we vote on who we will submit the president, vice president, second vice president, myself, and our accountant as authorized able to make transactions within our banking. So that'll be done, and I believe the resolution will be signed by myself, and I believe, I have to ask Tarquin this. Is it Tony because he was here, or is it Michael as the new president?
It would be Michael's.
So the form here has Tony as president, but we'll change that and make sure you get a signature on this. And what we do is we submit it to the bank, they change out our ability to make transactions.
I will be working out of the home office the remainder of this week,
Okay.
so it'll be real easy for you to get my signature.
Okay. All
So
right.
you don't have to drive the garden girl.
All right. Thank you.
All right. It is
So motion to approve is
motion to approve this.
Second.
Oh, I guess I was asking, but okay, put me down as the motion. And he seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Nope. 5-0. There we go. That brings us to general manager items. Mr. Mendoza.
Yes, just to give you an update of what we're working on, some of the highlights is the Rush Park Auditorium flooring. We're preparing bids for proposals, and they'll be going out in the first week in February, and the deadline is March. We will be having a mandatory walkthrough with any vendors that are interested. It's different, run a little different than the landscape because this is pretty cookie cutter. It's a number of yards and it's a grade of carpet, whereas we're going to have a lifelong or 3-year relationship with those landscape people, and I wanted to meet with them individually and kind of get to know who they are. So again, we're coming up with a flooring project here. The contract committee also requested that we meet with the girls, LAGSL, to look at their memo of understanding. As you recall, this has been a long-term memo of understanding. I don't think it's been changed for maybe 15 to 20 years. So there are some issues there, nothing major. We'd like to set a meeting up with them and our committee to just discuss points of interest and being able to make any adjustments that we might see beneficial to them and us. So that'll be coming up. We are in the process of updating the courts at Rossmoor Park. Because of the weather, the contractor has asked us that we slow our roll a little bit and wait for some warmer weather in order to get a better outcome of the paint he's putting down on the lines. I did, however, move forward with a extended fence between the two courts on courts 1 and 2 in order to stop the pickleballs from rolling onto the other court. Usually a tennis ball flies, pickleball roll, and very few tennis balls are coming up, but the pickleballs were going on to court 2, so we extended that fence this week. And then, so I'll be letting you know when we're going to be coming forward with the renovation of the courts, the conversion and the resurfacing. Landscape maintenance, we already talked about that. I did have a conversation with Frank Facey, the RHA representative that is doing the Neighborhood Watch program. And they put a request in to Orange County Public Works to redo the signs all through the neighborhoods. The signs are pretty old and kind of...
Which
the neighborhood
signs?
watch signs.
Neighborhood.
Just the neighborhood watch signs. So Frank's coming up with a map. Frank's coming up with a map. I'm sorry, I didn't explain that good enough. Frank's coming up with a map, and we're talking with himself, the sheriff, and Public Works, and we're going to add some as well as replace the ones.
Now, when you say add some, are you adding poles on
Well,
residents' lawns?
No, they'll be going against, I believe they're attached to street lights.
So all existing poles, just some new signs that were, okay.
Joe, check on that, because I don't think you can put on a street light. Maybe you can,
Okay, I'll check.
but, yeah, existing, I would think.
So I don't know how many they're going to recommend adding. I mean, I was thinking about adding a couple in our park, but, because it is a good program, and it does derail some of the activities. It's a visionary thing. And the signs that are existing right now are just getting worn and tattered.
Right.
And it's hard to read them. Yeah. So I talked to Frank today, and and he's coming up with the existing map and then with any recommendations to add.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. Again, my only position is I don't want to see any new pool or pole in front of someone's house on a parkway.
Okay.
Property owner rights. So,
Where's my comment?
all right, that brings us to board member items. We'll start over on this side. Director Searles.
Yeah, I want to thank Tony for your service as president. The State of the District was well written and well said. Thank you to the staff, our community sponsors, community partners. Thankful for the community that came out earlier for Wei Zhu's presentation. Extreme thanks to her. It's frustrating to be on this committee for more than a year with first Vice President DeMarco, and we had a lot of participation initially. We had some along the way, and then tonight to have people come and question bias. I struggle with that because there were so many statements that weren't accurate, and Vice President DeMarco did a great job of explaining those. We don't have a bias in the committee. We don't have a bias in the board as to what is going on with this. It's challenging. It's trying to solve this problem of parking and the lack of jurisdiction with Seal Beach. The county does not want to enter into any conflict, so the attempt here is to come up with a great solution for Rossmoor that Rossmoor wants, not to force something upon us. The county and Wei Zhu, spent a good chunk of money doing a study, and it's a comprehensive study, and we know that because for months they've been coming with us with more and more data. And so I'm thankful for everyone's opinions, but I do find fault with anyone who thinks there was a bias with Tony and with Wei Zhu and their efforts. But it is great to have the participation. I mean, we'd love that participation every month. It would have probably made our meeting tonight about a third as long if those comments had been seen and heard together with the prior comments that we had already addressed. But with that, I just want to say thank you to everyone involved. Ms. Wilkins, thank you. Your comments were very on point, and someone who's directly impacted in that is really, really helpful. There's an educated engineer's opinion, there's a I live this life opinion, and we welcome them all. And so with that, I just say, thank you, but at the same time, let's not ignore, the information we're given and the efforts that everybody is putting in. So with that, but yes, thank you, Tony, for your service on that committee and as president.
We're going to go over to this side now. Joe Shea.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to reiterate what Mr. Nathan was saying, Director Nathan was talking about. Thanking Tony. Tony, thank you for your service. You did an outstanding job. Reading that thing tonight was amazing because that was a lot. That's a full load, but you covered all the bases, and it was great. I was wanting to hand you water. Thank you so much for your service this year. I know it is a lot, and Rossmoor thanks you for your continued service that you do for this committee and everything you do for Rossmoor, including the missus, because I know she does a lot too. I'd like to say thank you to Troop 642 who came here and did our color guard tonight. There was an outstanding show. They came, and that was like the biggest and the nicest thing. I love the Scouts, so I always like to do a shout out for them showing up and doing their thing. They're amazing. Our presentation from our audience here that come up and speak and share with us their views on what's going on with the whole traffic. Helen, who chimed in one of the last ones, she was great. We appreciate her. Peggy, I can't even thank you enough. Your views coming from not only as a resident but also an educator in the area speaks volumes, and it's so valued, and I thank you so much for coming out and sticking it out tonight and listening to us because it's so important, and I wish we could get more people I'd like to say to everybody out there to please chime in and do the survey on the traffic situation, because that's going to determine a lot, and we can get those views out. Outside of that, I look forward to our launching of our website that's coming up. I'm excited about that for sure, no question. And I'm going to cut it loose at that and let Mr. Barkley chime in.
All right. Tony, thank you for your service. Appreciate it. Happy New Year, everybody. That's it. See you next month.
Tony, I'm going to go first because as outgoing president, I want you to have the last word and use that gavel for one last time. Kind of a new tradition, maybe. So I want to thank everybody who came. Our traffic issues are real. I know that there's a certain mindset of let's not do anything. I'm not sure that's the right approach. Some people say if you do something, there will be accidents. There's many times I look and pray that I'm not seeing flowers on our sidewalk because we've got some serious traffic issues, parking issues, blind spots. I feel really bad for the people who live within a certain section on that Montecito corridor where they've got people blocking their own driveways. I actually talked to a person who, one of the residents moved their trash cans so that they can park there. So we have real issues. I don't believe this board is biased, except I think they recognize that status quo isn't necessarily a plan. So it is a bigger corridor area. I also want to thank you for bringing up it, and others have, that the corridor is not our only problem. We do have a problem, that street that goes into Oak, and I can't remember what that, thank you, Wallingsford. And we've got a couple of corners near the park that again, shaking my head and concerned about safety. Again, Tony, I want to thank you for your leadership this past year. And I want to thank you for being our first vice president. So I can lean into your past experience this year as well. Director Shade, I look forward to working with all of you, but thank you for stepping up and being our second vice president. And as I mentioned, feel free to contact me if there's any issues or any things you have about committees, but I shared where I am that I believe in continuity. So with that, first Vice President DeMarco.
Thank you. So I guess when I heard the word biased, my reaction was, no, we're not biased. But going through our meeting here and thinking about it, because I know this board is not biased at all, and we're going to listen to our constituents. But if bias got you out here to participate and for us to hear you, because that is a heavy, heavy lift to get our residents out and to come up and speak. And if it seems like a threat that we're going to change the lines on Montecito, great, it got you out. We want to hear from you, because many, many times on our issues, we only hear for 10 or 20 of people, sometimes even less than that. So certainly this board is not biased. We are going to listen to our residents. Peggy, thank you very much for hanging in here for the whole meeting. I appreciate you coming out. I said it during the meeting. We asked the county for answers. The county doesn't live in Rossmoor. It's county. And Wei-Zhu did an excellent job explaining her side of the science. And that's what we want everyone to look at. And then, okay, after you understand the science and where they're coming from, what's going to work for us? And obviously, from the folks at our town hall, that they don't want much change. They don't feel it's necessary. I hope they're making that decision looking at all of the data understanding the data, because all we wanted was to bring ideas to our community. It is very, very difficult to have any county, and again, I'm very familiar with LA County, okay, because that's where my store is, but to have LA County focus on something is very difficult to do. So to have Orange County focus money and time and energy is something to say about Orange County traffic, something to say about this board having that, I don't know, influence, ways and means to get the county involved. I know that we didn't use this board, this community wasn't, years ago, we couldn't get the county involved. So it's a good thing to have the county here. It's a good thing to have this production of these boards with options. And this board's going to listen to our residents, because that's why we're here. We're residents, just like you. So thank you, Nathan. I appreciate the support. I want to hear everyone, but I had to interject several times just because I don't want a speaker to influence the whole crowd when he or she is obviously saying an untruth. So I tried to do that as best I could. I hope that's how it came off. I'm not trying to invoke any of my opinion or bias about anything. I just want to keep the record straight, because I've been a part of the whole process over the last year, the year before that. Again, our traffic ad hoc started with speeding down Tiger Tail 5-6 years ago, remember? So we are very, very concerned about the safety of Rossmoor residents. So did you want to say anything, Joe? No, okay. Again, that leads to one quick thing. We're in county, and I agree it would be great to have a CHP officer here 24/7. It'd be great. Write tickets, solve problems, not just write tickets, but correct behavior, but we don't. We live in county, okay? We can certainly pay for one. We've looked into that in the past. It costs some money. It's not that much money, but we could have a dedicated CHP officer here. Same thing with the sheriff. The sheriff comes here basically based on complaints, okay? There's not a whole bunch of complaints compared to, the rest of the county. I know Spitzer was here a couple months ago, okay? Todd Spitzer was here. And, you can only imagine what's going on in other unincorporated islands and other areas. And, they are, as in the state of the district, they are prosecuting even the mainly low-level crimes here in Rossmoor. But we live in a very, very safe community. Our captain comes to our meetings, okay? We have a great relationship with the Sheriff's Department. CHP, they again, historically, since 2020, has had personnel issues. And like was mentioned earlier, the freeway is more important than patrolling Rossmoor. And that's just that's a policy. To make a change on that, 200 people need to come down here. We gotta try to make a change. Maybe get more dedication for the CHP. So, or have, as Peggy mentioned, or have a spouse be a CHP officer. That would be fantastic, right? So, anyway, thank you, board, for your support and your accolades. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Senator Nguyen, for my proclamation. The video was quite a surprise. I'm sure my wife had something to do with that. And, it's having anything with Louis Prima in the background is always good, right? I appreciate all my friends and family for coming here tonight, and I look forward to First Vice President, maybe taking, of course, anything you need, President Maynard, I'll be here for you, but maybe not 3 or 4 phone calls with Joe Mendoza every single day, although I love Joe Mendoza. So with that, thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate it. Have a good evening. Oh,
Not
oh,
yet.
Okay, oh, talk, you can't, that's right.
General council items. Is there anything you have?
Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you. Outgoing President DeMarco, can you take us out of this meeting?
Yes, I adjourn this meeting.